Just write in the death room's number. 4242 564 whenever you want to knock on death's door.
Maka Albarn was underrated. Soul Eater was written in 2004 and aired in 2008. It is a story about weapon meisters and their human weapons at the DWMA. Students must collect 99 souls and 1 witch soul in order to turn weapons into Death Scythe status for Lord Death to wield himself. We follow 3 distinct pairings, Maka and Soul, Blackstar and Tsubaki, and Death the Kid with Liz and Patty Thompson. As the story progresses, more serious threats to the DWMA and the world threaten our meisters and weapons. One character within Soul Eater stands out not just in the show, but more the entire genre and field of anime itself, Maka Alban. Now in this video, I'm going to outline Maka's personality, her relationships, her flaws, why she is significant, and how does this impact Soul Eater overall. Who is Maka Alban? Maka is bright, cheerful, direct, smart, and a hard-working girl, in stark contrast to her partner Soul, who is laid back, impulsive, and impatient. She's got an A-type personality, striving for excellence in her schooling, and a bit high-strung. She likes reading books, puzzles, and frequently studies throughout the show. In fact, she relies on books a lot to understand things, sometimes being teased by Soul calling her a bookworm. Her preference to study and stay in is emphasised by her lack of ability to understand basketball because she doesn't know the rules.
Hey, Maka! Get over here!
Why should I? You said you were fine with me reading a book on the sidelines. That's the only reason I agreed to come.
Well, I lied, sorry.
She's our main female protagonist within the series, but moreover, her and Soul are our first protagonists we are introduced to. Now, we've all seen characters with these traits, but Maka is different. In fact, I would argue Maka is unique in her time and is still setting precedent now. Maka may seem a model student character, however she is unique because of how she is a lead within a genre in which usually she would be seen as a side character. Usually we get male leads, his friend, and then the girlfriend or love interest. Think My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, Death Note, Darker Than Black. Even though these are spread over multiple genres, they all have a predominantly male audience, and if girls are main characters, they are usually the third character we are introduced to, the romantic interest, have lack of development, and typically only display male traits, as to not bore the audience. In fact, female traits are only really shown if it's a romantic interest. Maka is not like this at all, and is in fact far from it. She has critical flaws. Flaws typically associated with female qualities. Emotional, stressful, judgmental, weak. But instead of just having these traits, we develop them. They are not ignored or pushed aside, but highlighted as things Maka has to acknowledge and to work on in order to drive herself forward.
Please drop Blackstar from my resonance team.
Is that what you came here to say? The one who's failing the team is you.
This isn't just a one-incident situation either that has a quick summary. Maka wrestles with herself on multiple occasions with different problems to handle. For example, her accepting she is the weakest in her team and holding them back when dealing with Blackstar shows maturity. Did she sulk and cry? Yes, but she learns to accept her failings and that she is not always right. She even requests to be punched in the face to be seen as equal to her male counterparts.
But there's one other thing, Blackstar. I think that you should hit me.
I hope you're ready for this. Oh, ow!
Every time she fights Krona, it's an opportunity to see her develop. She goes from hiding and protecting her weapon in fear to disobeying Lord Death and giving her all in her fights against Krona. Things cloud her judgment. She's sensitive, stressed out, makes huge generalizations of men, and has a self-righteous attitude. Yet these are not just footnotes in her personality, but a driving force in her development, behaviours that are slowly but surely unlearned. Maka's flaws aren't her only unique story hook. Her relationships are interesting to note as they allow us to understand her character and highlight the differences that make her a great role model. Soul is her main relationship and honestly one of the healthiest parents I've seen in manga or anime. Soul and Maka complement each other. The high-strung, excel-driven, emotional person compared to Soul's laid-back and protective demeanour who indulges himself. Although Soul believes Maka is stubborn, foolhardy and gloomy-natured and very quick to resort to violence, neither one of them overshadow each other in personality or in romantic undertones. Both of them accept each other for their faults but continue to work and push forward. together. They recognize each other's differences and priorities. Sol is a good source of feedback for Maka, almost a human mirror, as he's our primary trust for her weaknesses and insecurities, knowing each other inside and out.
You said that all women make wild assumptions without reasoning first, right? Well, what reason do men have for cheating?
How am I supposed to know? I can't answer that. After all, cool men don't cheat on their partners, do they? Maka! Good job.
Yes, Sol. Thank you.
When Maka states her harsh comments towards the male sex, Sol is usually the first to call her out. Moreover, he pushes her to make it right with Blackstar so they can complete their assignment, and calls out her recklessness in fights for putting her emotions and care for him over his role as her weapon. Sol often allows Maka to make choices that she finds difficult or has a moral dilemma with, such as disobeying Lord Death or saving Professor Stein. And this also isn't one-sided, but works both ways. For example, when Maka stops the fight with Death the Kid, or helps Sol get out of his struggle with Black Blood.
Cool.
Don't let yourself get involved in stupid fights, alright? That's exactly what you used to tell me, Sol.
Yeah, I guess I was the uncool one of us today, huh?
Coming?
Sorry.
Let's stay cool, okay?
You got it.
Blackstar is the main focus of Contention for Maka. His abrasive personality and I'm the greatest attitude clashes with Maka's logical and model student persona.
The reason they keep failing is obvious. Black Star's wavelength is trying to take over. It won't accept Maka's lead and mesh with the others.
Think of anyone but yourself, Blackstar. Try working with everybody else this time. Why bother? Who would want to work with an idiot like you anyway? Can't you see you're the weak link here?
However, Blackstar has her main contempt for forcing Maka to recognize her failings and differences in fighting styles. Just because someone is loudmouthed and obnoxious doesn't mean they are the weakest link or have flawed perspectives. Blackstar exposes Maka's weaknesses and pinpoints the start of real challenge and development within her character. Even the way in which she handles this contention demonstrates a narrative not often given or allowed to female characters. Her resolution of desiring Blackstar to punch her, although comedic, shows her strong morale to be considered equal amongst her peers, and male or female does not matter in this equation, nor hold her back. She's forced to move forward.
That's right.
The final relationship I will touch on is her relationship with her father, Spirit, and in some ways her mother, Kemi. Now, Spirit and Kemi divorced 1 month before we meet our characters in Soul Eater, and it's due to Spirit's cheating. Spirit constantly desires to bond with his daughter, but she has been emotionally scarred by his actions. This explains her resentment for men as a gender, but it doesn't hold her back or wreck her relationships with men. Maka, despite having a troubled father, has developed close and meaningful relationships with male students and teachers such as Professor Stein, Sol, Death the Kid, and even Blackstar. Maka stands on her own merits and strives to do better, her mother being a main motivation behind this. Even Maka being hesitant to work with a male partner because of her father's actions and betrayal, but showing a developed and healthy friendship, highlights how Maka is a source of strength and a great role model throughout the series and anime. Maka's relationship showcase her developing all pieces of her character throughout different trials and tribulations. Maka is significant because of her unwillingness to fail and recognizing the need for teamwork. She's not weaker because she's a girl or emotional or reckless. Maka gets scared, she gets sensitive, makes mistakes, and has to continuously study and push herself to overcome these challenges, as well as learning the value and benefits of teamwork to see through first impressions. For example, Blackstar and Krona. Maka takes on the role of the strong female with typically male traits, but has not rejected her femininity to become strong in a man's world. She's not rejected this to be entertaining for a male viewer. She's the lead in a genre typically made for young boys, which is a stereotype, but it definitely held more ground in 2004 and 2008. In the beginning, even now, there's not many animes with protagonists introduced straight away as female and with such strong traits. Now, I'm fully aware Maka isn't a solo protagonist, but she does hold a lot of ground within the story arc and is predominantly told through her perspective. The narrative, they do not go anywhere close to her growth as a character. The relationship with Sol is also just a healthy and enjoyable one to watch even after 10 years. To have such a character so developed and key within the story, arguably the protagonist is unique. There were some like Ghost in the Shell, but for children, I really don't remember women being showcased as equally or held in such a high regard, especially keeping their femininity within the series. Even now, we don't have the same development. My Hero Academia, for example, has so many female characters with incredible powers and yet there's more development that happens within male characters who appear only every 50 chapters. They're mostly just used for a romantic taunt. Solita stands apart as a great memory of my first years in anime, and I do strongly believe Maka Alban is well-deserved and set a precedent for female characters in anime, and is still setting it today. She was incredibly underrated, and I never realised how much I should have appreciated me watching this show.